You need to make everyone to agree on something without fighting.
He loves more calm environment and more stable, and I'm like a hurricane in many ways.
My purpose in life is really helping people. That's how I feel the most fulfilled. At the time, I was helping a lot of people with different practices, making sure like the food was safe to eat.
Manu used to live in Amsterdam, and I was there for a weekend, and it was due to my friend from New York that I went twice in a row, Friday evening and Saturday evening, to our most favorite bar, which is called The Church in Amsterdam, and that's where we met.
There was actually no plans for me to go to that party, so it was really destiny who made that happen. And who made the first move. I think it was pretty much equal. We look at each other and some sparkle came up from it. And yeah, we start talking and...
No, I think that also I was not sober, I can admit. I think both we were not sober, but we knew how... that I told you when we left that I think we're gonna stick together for a long time. That was like 1.5 years ago.
I actually went to that party with some other friends. Whenever I go party, I really don't like to leave behind anyone. But this time it happened. We met, we had instant connection, and since then, after the party, I asked him to come to my apartment. We slept together. He left for Thailand, and then a couple of weeks afterwards, he came back to Amsterdam to meet again, which for me it was quite a significant, wake-up call. Like, okay, this guy, I really like him, but it seems like he also liked me. So I truly appreciate that.
And then you quit your apartment. I think the next move was literally I helped you cleaning the apartment. In retrospect, it feels like that the second time I came to Amsterdam, we liquidated your apartment, and then not soon after you came to Thailand, and then you quit your job, and we started a project in Thailand.
I think actually it was really a flow. In any moment, he really asked me to go on business together. Everything, it was like sort of a domino effect that everything happened one after the other. I could say I had my dream job at the time. I was working for a big restaurant group, looking after supply chain and quality. I could say my purpose in life is really helping people. That's how I feel the most fulfilled. At the time, I was helping a lot of people with different practices, making sure like the food was safe to eat, etc. But Marcel always was telling me, hey, I know this company, like, we really need to talk about this company. But, months were passing by. And I think 4 or 5 months after we first met, I remember clearly it was a Sunday afternoon. We were sitting in a bar drinking a beer. And then he told me about this American company, which they make a biostimulant for the soil to cure the earth. But what Marcel didn't know is like my studies were agricultural engineer, so I know a lot about this topic. And fascinating enough, I also knew the right people and the right companies that could help us grow or open a market in Spain. So for me, it was like, wow. And then, as I said, everything came afterwards. Things I discovered Thailand, which for me is a paradise. The moment I discovered it, it came clear to me, like things were happening for a reason. I met this guy. He had a purpose in life which it was very aligned with mine. And by helping this American company to get product across Europe, we were not profiting from it, but the most important for me is like we were helping loads of farmers people and society, because at this moment of time, the amount of pesticides and chemicals that we have been using in the soil for the last decades has made the soil and the earth not to be profitable anymore. It's you cannot grow. You need to keep using more and more and more chemicals. And what this product does is cleaning completely, removing all the chemicals, increasing organic matter, and making all the crops, trees, plants to bloom and to explode. So for me, this is what is now giving me an amazing purpose, because I keep helping a lot of people and future generations to improving the soil and making their business a lot more profitable.
Maybe I can say from my side, because we didn't have a plan. That's how my whole life was always playing the cards in a very beautiful and unpredictable way. And we both had a good life, and we both were very independent, but on the same kind of, we were traveling through the world in very, very similar ways. And the business, as Manu said, is one part is a biotech company where we build up the distribution in Europe. And the second part of the business is the real estate/retreat center in Thailand we are building, where we currently have 10 villas under development and commercial space, retreat facilities, co-working, restaurant, 40 bedrooms. And we want to host groups in the future, either 2 groups in parallel or one within our network or with external retreat organizer. But I mean, the thing is why I believe it works, because he's my soul partner, he's my life partner, but also he's my business partner. And we never had a plan to become business partner. It was just so logic, because it is, I mean, I also would say it's meant to stay. We don't have a guarantee. But in retrospect, it's quite crazy that I was flirting with this US company for 1 year. And I always knew the potential of it, but I had no time really to go on that train fully. And also, I'm not an agronomist.
Maybe just to end it up with the question, where I also felt more secure, and what helped me make the final move, quitting my job, was like we both combine pretty nice. He has expertise in business plan, business model, and the finance part. But then in both the retreat, I had a lot of experience in my life with supply chain, food safety that will apply. Of course, you need, if you want to have a proper business in hospitality, you need, the first thing is safety first. So for me, it was like, everything falling as it needed for me to give the final decision, which it was difficult at the time to say, okay, I give up my corporate life and I go fully into a freelance and entrepreneur with my partner.
For me, the timing in retrospect was not so ideal, because I was so busy with getting this building going in Switzerland and also in Thailand. My whole life also went through a huge transformation. Like, I renovated a lot of my life in the last 12 months, same like you did. And finding the life partner was of course really beautiful, and also a challenge, because at one point we traveled to how many countries? 25 in 1 year. We were like traveling like crazy. Like, really, I'm traveling to that. I traveled that already, but we were like in 1 year everywhere: Singapore, Hong Kong, New York, Iceland, Brazil, Thailand, all over Europe. I want to focus on work, but as I said, we have a really good life. But for me, too much of holiday. We were like 3 months now in Europe. I'm out of office, of my office in Thailand for too long. I want to be more productive than constantly being on a Greek island or whatever. It's more like, okay, we have to balance also that part, because we are really kind of travel nerds and addicts. But I think once Thailand will be built, we will slow down for sure quite a lot. Significant.
What it truly amazes me about Marcel is like he sees opportunities wherever, whenever no one else sees it. And that means for everything, on real estate, on companies, on houses to renovate, on buildings or buildings or projects to make, or I maybe am a more conservative mind, and then he will go always full on. For me, at the beginning, that was a bit difficult to digest because I was used to a very comfortable life, very structured, with not 9 to 5 job, but yeah, it was a lot of security, certainty, and then, but yeah, he's really, really good in the finance, business plan, etc.
I don't know if it's a talent. I would say maybe it's more like I always say I'm a truffle dog. And I don't know if, okay, I would say truffle dog is quite talented because it's not so easy, but it's also his natural instinct. So I'm like mixed. Manu, I would say he's great in structure, but also cleaning up the mess maybe I create in the first place. The operational part, maybe I would really say, yeah. I'm better in moving the things at the front, talking to, for example, in real estate, I manage all the customers, I manage all the finances, but the backbone or getting the administration right is more Manus. I must say, I always felt the numbers. You know how it is. I really...
I love numbers, but I love people. And for me, hospitality and customer service and always making and having things right are extremely important for me. I consider myself a bit of a perfectionist, but when it comes to retreats or hotels like the little one we have in Thailand, what I feel is whenever I go on holidays, for me, I go holidays to enjoy. So I want any guest who comes to our hotel or villas in the future to have the very best experience that they can have. So for me, if something is not extremely clean or as it should, it really irritates me, and I'm also learning to let it go and be a little bit more relaxed. But yeah, I really love staying in touch with people and making holidays experience like ones that you should never forget.
Also, the amount of conflict we have is very limited. It's more often like a joke, or there is an area of conflict, like maybe what airline we fly, because he's frequent flyer on a different airline than mine. Maybe what hotel we use, because he's frequent traveler on a different hotel chain than mine. Or cooking. I think our biggest fights we have about food or cooking. That's really... Again, we never had the intention to do business together. That's why I think it works so well, because we have our speciality, but it's also very young. We don't know each other that long. So for that, I think we're both really grateful for that we are still together, because we went through a lot in 1.5 years in terms of madness of business. And as I said, we had a lot of opportunities. Beside of all the travels, we started hiring staff, managing them. So it's not, I would say we managed really well.
I agree with that. I will say we are both co-CEO. We are always happy to jump and helping each other whenever it's needed, and that's also something that I really appreciate from myself.
Yeah, and the Texas Biotech, he is the CEO. I don't interfere that much. I'm more like the godfather of the project because I know the main investor. I have been I've met all the team, etc. So I made the first connection. I brought in my network, but he's very independent. I help with negotiation. The rest, I want to guide. You could really say, like, as an advisor or as a board member, I see myself in that company. And he maybe is the same in Akasha, Thailand, because that's really my baby, because I've started it 2017. It's a really long process. So many people were involved. he jumped on that rolling train, and he's more like, it's like a board member advisor. So it's kind of cool that we both have this project. I love seeing him thriving in Spain, and it can go really big and fast and nice. So it's great, and I focus on it's at the end it's a consequence, and I love doing business if it's a consequence of. Because then it's like a hobby or a passion. And also I would say the money is really in those companies when it's like a consequence of something. Not because our mind said we have to start some random business in Spain for agriculture products.
I do remember when he came to Spain, and then he brought me my favorite chocolate from Switzerland. It was like,
His favorite chocolate muesli from Switzerland.
and just that silly thing, it really made my day and truly saw me.
The cruise. We are going on a cruise next year. I booked it, the cabin, and I told you later if we really want to do it, but I already put money on the table, which I would have lost, or we would have lost if he would say, no, I don't like the idea. So we have quite some surprises. I think more likely he would fire me.
Why?
Because he loves more calm environment and more stable, and I'm like a hurricane in many ways. Because maybe of the experience, I have my stubbornness in business just because I can't be bothered. We have an example like that the project manager, because I was busy 2 days, the project manager started to call Manu and text him. But Manu needs to talk to me because he doesn't know the details about these real estate things. And that is an example that Manu I can frustrate others because I'm so stubborn. Now, I mean, the issue is I was wearing so many hats in the past, like, I don't know, 100+ business hats. And I'm not willing to change every 5 minutes my color. So right now I'm in the podcast. Yesterday I was wearing the podcast hat. And then I don't want to hear anything about real estate, and people have to understand it. But it was like more like small children. I want to talk to the boss because I missed him, because he was busy filming some stuff in Greece. It was more that issue. And Manu, because he's so kind and friendly, he always has an open door.
When he wants something, he wants it now. And he's sometimes a bit impatient, or a lot of impatient. So, sometimes, especially in some business, takes time. And in one of our projects, it comes to working day-to-day with farmers and with crops. So if you apply a product and you want to see the result in the crop, you minimum need 120 days to 1 year. So, he sometimes lacks that patience of waiting to see the results and want things now, and sometimes things needs to wait. I haven't seen myself on the risk of being fired, but maybe I have seen myself with a lot of or some pressure to get things rolling, but unfortunately I need to wait for the results. So we are balancing and finding the perfect spot.
No need to fire anybody. Not yet. The two words which came immediately, it would be the roller coaster or gigantism, which was my disease. And as Manu said, it's really linked to my impatience. I know about the disadvantages, but I also see it as an advantage because and we both have, for our age, we have really accomplished a lot. And if we continue like that, we're going to have a tremendous, amazing life we cannot yet even dream of, because 1.5 years we had was already like a miracle. And we are not coming from a shit life. Our life was already really, really good. So it can also be almost like dreams on steroids could be another title, because I always thought the life cannot get any better.
Where you put a lot of people and then you need to make everyone to agree on something, but without fighting. So it will be some sort of challenge that you bring people together, and at the end of the day, the result needs to be some happy, nice memory and the best experience in life. And that will give me a lot of satisfaction in my life, like making sure like everyone came together with a lot of problems to solve, but at the end they are able to leave the place as a happy family with all the problems solved.
I think that's also our commonality, how we get there. I told him when I meet him, at the moment my life is very simple, it's happiness of Manu and happiness of our cat. I don't care that much about anything else. It sounds really silly. Of course I have friends and family, and yet the cat and Manu is the closest to me in my orbit. And happiness is really the key, but also in our business, it's all around happiness. But I have a different way of expressing the happiness. I can be also like in a dictator mode if I'm very focused on going there as fast as possible because I'm impatient. And still yet I would say I have really the heart in the right place, and that connects us. And that's why we are maybe a really good dream team, because at the end we have the same philosophy or the same values. It's freedom, happiness, joy, respect. I have a more brutal, radical way of expressing it, and he has a very genuine, kind way of expressing it. That's it. So that's why it works very well.
And the name, I will just stick to Mama, Manu and Marcel.
That's our company name. It's kind of cool.
I consider myself like quite very good with when it comes to numbers, physics, mathematics, but when it comes to art or expression, I'm a lot more shy and it's more difficult for me. But with Marcel it's easy. I mean, he taught me that, and it's a very, very simple thing to do to express gratitude. And it's just a simple gesture we can do. It's just coming from the heart, the mind, and thanking the universe. And I still do every day, because I cannot believe like we met 1st of June last year, and we both had maybe chaos and at the same time a good life, but somehow we managed to merge together to change both of our lives. But I cannot be more grateful, because I feel a lot happier, a lot more loved, and in a much more better position than I was before we met. So for that, I'm truly thankful.